brought to you by Novex Finance and the crew. We're going to get into this market, the CME gap. What CME gap? What? It got closed. We're going to talk about it as expected. We just don't miss here. Good narrations on what the market is doing. Honestly, there's very few places where you can get this type of TA. And here at Novex, we want our traders to not just trade with us, but we want you to be successful and we want you to stick around for the length of your stay in crypto. We want you to trade on our exchange. So I'm going to play a couple songs, get the vibes going. Guys, there's a little QR code here on the top right. Scan it or just go to novex.finance. The QR code does take you straight into Novex, in which you guys can create an account and start getting in on this trading action with us. But let's like and repost the room. You guys know the drill. Let's play some music, get the vibes going. Good morning, everybody.
Written these charts like a precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gap still bleed and chill.
Forest on mute, but the numbers kill. Novex Finance, cold and still. Trade talk loud, no cap, no fill. Coming in clutch when the screen get ill. Mr. Clutch, keep me calm when I overfill. Mr. Clutch, keep me calm when I overfill. Left eye on the chart, right eye on pain. Hand steady like a sniper in rain. Force breath cold, hard and chains. Every wicked lesson, every loss a gain. I move like that through terrain. Cold my path, never complain. Coffee black, screen on stain. Alpha ain't luck, it's strange domain. Deeper and deeper, candle to tangle. Price ain't chaos, it's a you don't handle. Deeper and deeper, candle to candle. Price and chaos, it's a battle handle. Deeper and deeper, candle to candle. Price and chaos, it's a battle handle. Novex knows in the fog we march. Trade lines etched like bark on notch. Coming in clutch, ain't a phrase is charged. Mr. Clutch, pray while the ticks discharge. Reading these charts like a precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gap still bleeding, chill. Voice on mute, but the numbers kill. Deeper and deeper, candle to candle. Price and chaos, it's a battle handle. Deeper and deeper, candle to candle. Price and chaos, it's a battle handle. Reading these charts like a precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gap still bleed and chill. Force on mute, but the numbers kill. Novex Finance, chorus still. Reading these charts like a precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gap still bleed and chill. Force on mute, but the numbers kill. Reading these charts like a precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gap still bleed and chill. Force on mute, but the numbers kill. Deeper, heartbeat sync with the trend line. Blood on the chart, there's a deadline. I see fear in their eyes through the headline. They ain't quant, they just scroll timeline. I keep math like ammo, cold precise. Entry points measure, exit twice. Silence the noise, pay the price. One bad click, you sacrifice. Algorithm twitch in the moonlight gleam. Trade talk space ain't just a stream. It's a war room brief with the alpha team. Coming in clutch, we redefine dream. We redefine dream, redefine dream, redefine dream, redefine dream, redefine dream. Reading these charts like a precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gap still bleeding chill. Forced on mute, but the numbers kill. Novex wins for precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gap still bleeding chill. Forced on mute, but the numbers kill. Deeper, deeper. Drill to the chart bleeds order. Deeper, drill to the chart bleeds order. Deeper, drill to the chart bleeds order. Deeper and deeper, candle to candle. Discipline's the weapon. Patience the trigger. Trade talk forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Late night, glare off the glass on the screen light. Wallet on sync and it feels right. Keys in my palm, I don't need mic, I need math. Feed from the stream like a bloodline. Order books open like a skyline. Every little tick got a story, let the chart shine. Click once, root through a mesh, not a main line. Peer to the pier, cut the waistline. Carved out fees, keep the steak, lead a thin rhyme. We built brick by brick, but it's cold blocks. Nobody knows, see the flow lock. Old doors closed, we just walk through the roadblocks. Novex on my mind when the blocks flip. Whole crowd plugged in when the clocks tick. New world in the cold, let the lock slip. Yeah, we trade that trust for the trustless. Hands up for the ones who were boxed in. Now the gate wide open, we are logged in. Novex in the air when the charts slip. Yeah, we trade that trust for the trustless. Yeah. Fresh start, I don't ask who's behind that. I just see proof where the time at. Stamped on chain, let the facts do the combat. Street smart, numbers in my head like a drum line. Split second fills on the front line. Spread so tight, feel the slip on a flat line. Zoom out, you can see trends, not the scared talk. Every big shift start with small chalk. New rails laid where the slow trains deadlock. I see kids in a room with a screen glow. Running test nets like it's free throw. Lines of code looped up, that's the cheat code. Novex on my mind when the blocks flip. Whole crowd plugged in when the clocks tick. New world in the cold, let the locks slip. Yeah, we trade that trust for the trustless. Hands up for the ones who were boxed in. Now the gate wide open, we are locked in. Novex in the air when the charts slip. Yeah, we trade that trust for the trustless. From the floor to the chain, we connected. From the dream to the screen, that's progression. Every node, every soul, that's a section of a bigger kind of net. Not a prison, that's a blessing. From the racks in the bag to the phone tap. From the facts, from the lag to the fast track. When the crowd on the rails, you can't hold back. Whole globe in the flow, let it snap back. Yeah. New day, all of these graphs like a mural. Color in the wrist, keep the cure full. Step through the noise, let the clear cut the hollow. We don't wait for a desk or a phone call. One swipe sign and the stones fall. Old tall walls feel small when the cold tall. Look close, you can see hearts in the hash rate. Little green dots on the map shape. Everyone posts like a drum in a jazz break. We hear bright eyes, never mind what the fear say. Every rough chart had a clear day. Every drawn line was a guess to the play. Novex on my mind when the blocks slip. Whole crowd plugged in when the clocks tick. New world in the cold, let the locks slip. Yeah, we trade that trust for the trustless. Hands up for the ones who were boxed in. Now the gate wide open, we are logged in. Novex in the air when the charts slip. Yeah, we trade that trust for the trustless.
Deep in the pines, no Wi-Fi, just vines. Charts spread out, Fibonacci designs. CME gaps like ghosts in the mist. Candles burn slow, every wick got a twist. Solitude, silence, he carves out the play. Bear bully dances, no steps go astray. Alpha moves sharp like a hawk on the prowl. Numbers don't lie, he's the wolf with the howl. Clutch in the shadows, move so divine. Forest in the market, both intertwined. Catching that green while the trees sway fine. Legend on the charts, his name's a shrine. Heard the wind whisper, shorted along. Wrote a sonnet and leverage a charting song. Green candles sprout like moss on the bark. Red candles drip like blood after dark. Hedge fund whispers, they envy his grit. Trend lines obey when his cursor's lit. No discord noise, just the owl's debate. He swings like a pendulum, never too late. Monotone scatter, his trades leave a trace. Charts in his mind, no screen to replace. Cold air bites, but the profits stay warm. Market storms rage, he thrives in a swarm.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, as much as I want to keep playing more songs, we going to cut it out at the 3 songs. That happens to be the 10-minute mark. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trade Talk. Thank you for being here. You could be anywhere else, but you're choosing here to vibe with us. We do have a few people here. We're going to say good morning to everybody. What's good, everybody? Let's tap in with our main co-host, Andrew, real quick. And I do see we have a special guest. What's up? How's it going, T? Alex did tell us you were coming, Tima, so we're excited to talk some trade in, so you can see what we do, our market analysis, and we just kind of vibe out and hang out and do what we can to make sure we keep our traders winning. So let's tap in with Andrew real quick, and then we'll check in with everybody else. What's up, Andrew? You with us? How you doing?
How you doing? I'm ready for the day, baby. Oh, we got Loud Packs joining the stream. This is gonna be a fun episode, man. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Trade Talk, powered by Novex Finance. If this is your first, this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And X, YouTube, LinkedIn, Rumble, Kick, everywhere, right? So regardless of where you're at, make sure you follow me in Clutch. Hit the sub button because we do fun stuff too. We stream poker, we stream gaming, and I stream a little bit of always dialed into the markets, guys. So these episodes are fun, man. You know, I'll get the breakdown of how it goes down. I generally got a check-in question that we just throw out for everybody so we can try to get a little ahead of the market of some things that are going down, and we'll talk about that for a minute. Then we'll throw it over to the Clutch. He's going to look at the charts. He's going to let us know what he's seeing. He'll call a range for the day. He'll call a direction for a range for the weekend, a direction for the weekend, and we'll try to call a trade for the show. But guys, let me throw out this this check-in question real quick, and then we will. I'll tell you a little bit about X, and then we'll get into it. Here's my check-in question for today, and you guys might have seen it on X or wherever. I've seen it on a few platforms at this point, but Superheat, they unveiled a Bitcoin mining water heater. Literally, it's a 50-gallon water, and they can heat your water with Bitcoin mining. I'm curious what you guys think about that. Do you guys think that's actually going to be the future of mining, or is this just a big nothing, gimmick type thing? Wonder what you guys think about that. But real quick, before we check in with everybody, guys, make sure you're following Novex Finance. Make sure you're in the Telegram. Novex was built by traders for traders. It's got all the bells and whistles, right? It's for the people, by the people. And, me and Clutch and even Ghost, our other partner with the exchange, we partner up with everybody when it the big time centralized exchanges. But we decided that we got to get ahead of the market shift. We got to get ahead of having our own decks, right? Not your keys, not your cheese. So that's what we preach. But not only that, we make sure the trader on our decks are profitable, and it's unheard of. If you guys know another exchange where the traders as a whole are profitable, please let us know. We'd like to vibe with them, but we've yet to find one. But our traders are profitable as a whole, and it's because we stream this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So make sure you tap in and make sure you're trading on Novex, and B, make sure Telegram, because that's truly why it's profitable, because I'm in there sharing plays, Ghost is in there. He shares literally every single trade he makes. Every time he trims some profit, or even he has a stop loss, he's sharing it in there. So guys, get in there, jump in there, ask questions, follow the trades, and we're gonna run it up. So let's do it. But man, I'm ready to get into it. I'm ready to get everybody's thoughts, man. So guys, I thought this was pretty cool. Superheat unveiling their 50-gallon electric water heater, and they're not paying us to talk about it, I promise. But they unveiled it, and you can mine Bitcoin while heating your water. So I'm curious what you guys think about this. And let's go, ladies, first this morning. Tima, cool to have you on stream for the first time. And what do you think about this water heater? You think this could be the future of mining?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I have never been on your stream, so I'm really curious where this is going to go. But I didn't really get what I hear you're talking about. You were confusing me. I thought we're trading. Can you hear me?
Trade here, but we always do a little check-in question with some of the crypto news and stuff, and just see everybody's thoughts on it.
Can you hear me?
But there's a Bitcoin. Oh, what'd you say?
Yeah, we can hear you, Tima. So, Tima,
Okay.
this is a trading show, but every time we do a trading show, before I get into the TA, because unless you're a trader, most people think TA is boring, right? We love it because we know it's going to keep us safe from the market makers trying to wreck us. So, what we've done for years now, we've been hosting spaces and streams for about 4 years now. We like to give people a little bit of entertainment. So, Andrew brings us one topic every show that gives us information that's actually important for the market sentiment. So, that's not sure if you were able to hear the question he had, but that's just kind of the breakdown of how we do our shows. We want to make them topical, but we also, right, like we want them to be informational. So it's kind of difficult, so this is just a good little mixture to give us a little talking points as well while we're having some fun watching these charts.
Okay, I get it. So I didn't really get the water heater question. You need to know my English is not my first language, and like this question was asked super fast. I don't know if I got it correct. But let's not do ladies first today. Let me hear what you guys have to say, so I know what you guys are talking about, and then let me bring me later into the conversation. Okay.
That's great. So we always do like to go ladies first. So from one lady to the next. What's up, Kuya? Oh, I'm just kidding, dude. I was gonna give my Filipino friend a little jab this morning, but how you doing, Kuya? What's up, bro?
Hello,
You can't
I'm
call
doing good.
it, lady. He's steadily simping.
He always simps on the timeline. Yo, no simping
No, no,
allowed.
no.
No
Don't
simping allowed.
don't listen to them. I don't simp. But yeah, good morning, everyone. Great to see everyone here. Team Massimo, Loadpacks,
Morning,
Clutch,
bro.
and Andrew. So yeah, I think the water heater thing, Steam. I think that's bullish. It's just another way for someone to mine Bitcoin, and anything that I think for me, anything that has to do with Bitcoin is always good. So I'm for it. If I can do it because electricity is so high to mine, if this is another way to do it, then I think that's just another way to, you know, get Bitcoin out to everyone. So yeah, for me, it's a good thing in my mind. Yep.
Much about household stuff, but I imagine like a water heater for $2,000. That sounds pretty decent deal to me. And then if you got the
Mm-hmm.
chance to mine some Bitcoin with it, the is just infinite upside. Unless I guess maybe repairs, but I guess that's another conversation.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's the other thing. But yeah, maintenance and all that. But yeah, initially on first glance, it seems good. But yeah.
a question I have, Andrew, have you dove into the ROI of it, like the expenses to keep up? Also, my next question, does it become a solo miner essentially? So you always have the chance to mine a block, or like what are all the specifics? Because I kind of mine Bitcoin through some apps that give you access to games, and in you using the games, you're using their servers, which activates the mining. So like games that we normally play, dude, I probably earn, man, 20 to 30 bucks a month for Satoshi's worth. The cool part about that is it costs $0 to kind of do all that. So like I'm wondering if it's going to be something like that, because there's a lot of gamified options for Bitcoin, or just any specifics you have there, Andrew, would be great.
Weren't a lot of details I could find anywhere. It was debuted at a trade show, and I just seen articles about the trade show everywhere. But they're having. I didn't go to the company that kind of research, to be honest. But I'd imagine that it's probably a mining pool that you go to, right? Just a little $2,000 miner on a water heater. I think your chances of are slim to none at this point. But there's always a shot. But I'd imagine that's how it goes. And I don't know the upkeep either. That's actually something I was thinking about in real time as Kua was talking. Is what is truly the upkeep on something like this, and like is it is it something that in 2 years, right, is it still going to be usable, because we know how fast technology advances and stuff like that. So no, those are some good questions, Clutch, for sure.
So it's just the hopium aspect of it is, hey, you can now buy a water heater. We'll connect it. I don't know. It's kind of seems okay, but this is giving me that Liz vibes. They were doing the hydropower and all that stuff. They've been kind of on top of these things
Yeah,
for
so
years. So I'm guessing it's towards that end.
I pulled it up. And it says it profits about $5 to $7 per day. But again, how long does that profit last for?
Right. I mean, with more
So
demand, but dude, $5 a day, $150. If most water bills are right around 80 to $120. So I do like that. Just doing that can make it a break even, with the upside of Bitcoin taking off 10, 20 years from now. If you're just stacking these sats, it's going to add up. So at $5 a day is actually not that bad, because there's a lot of miners that you'll spend $1,000 on and you'll get maybe $2, $3 a day. After factoring in electricity costs and all that stuff. So with this, it's probably solar powered as well. They have solar chargers for water heaters, which makes it pretty much free. And it's not like a difficult solar setup like you would for a whole mining rig. So yeah, pretty interested to kind of know more details on that. Can you post anything here on the chat? Just go to the chat for the stream and post any links you have there so we can check them out. That'll be pretty sweet. But yeah, maybe we can get a couple other people's opinion here. Massimo, you around? You still working?
I'm around, brother. Beepity boppity.
Beepity boppity. So Tima, I know English is not your first language. That's okay. I'm also a Mexican, right? A white-sican. I look white, but I'm Mexican. English wasn't my first language. We also have a token Filipino guy. That was Kui, who you heard speaking. Andrew is a Black Russian. So we're very diverse here. His first language was also ghetto. There's a new category for languages that Andrew speaks. We're still trying to learn that. It's from St. Louis. It's kind of odd. And then you have Massimo, who translates all Italian for us. If you ever try to keep up with an Italian's take, you will end up on the 73rd level of Super Mario Bros. But Massimo, it's pretty crazy. It never fully dawned on me just how diverse we truly are. Typically,
It's
when
true,
people
brother.
when people kick it, bro, it'll be like 80% the same, right? But for us, dude, we're like everywhere from, dude, it's insane. We have
No, they in this
it's
case,
crazy.
diversity is actually a strength here for us, right? Because we but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, right? It just shows there's especially in with everything that we have going on today. Like I feel like it's important for us to note that we obviously know the type of people and community that we try to surround ourselves with, but look, there are good people everywhere, all walks, all background, even you,
Oh
Clutch.
yeah.
Even
Well,
you.
even me. Listen, crop dusting is one thing, but after a burrito is just not fair. You got to be nice to your friends, guys. Walk away from them after you eat burritos. But yo, Massimo, all jokes aside, you are a contractor. This is up your alley. How much to
Yes, sir.
start
Yeah.
adding a Bitcoin water heater to your freaking business? We need to
Well, I
dive
mean,
into cost, margin, execution, and let's just freaking get it.
And
no, I
is
think
two
this is
grand for a 50K water, a 50 pound water heater or gallon water heater, like a fair?
sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, Massimo, you're going back into roboto mode. But I know a standard water heater. Okay, yeah, leave and come back. A water heater typically is around $1,200. I had to replace one as far as a 50-gallon. I don't recall the gallons, but I think that's the average size for a standard home in America, right, Andrew?
I've looked at my water heater a couple times, but I've never really had to personally replace one or anything, so I don't know a lot of details about them. But just like the pricing, it just seems fair, to me, especially for you're not just buying a water heater, you're buying a miner too.
So check this out. The average cost for a 50-gallon water heater, not including install, starts at $700. An install for a water heater, I used to have a water softener installation business, and I would charge people to install our water softeners, which is essentially the same as the water heaters function wise. I'm not the plumber. I just paid the bills. But when I would look at it, it looked very similar. I would charge around $500 to $700 for the install, including warranty and all that. So my average cost was in that $1,400, $1,600 range. So for a Bitcoin miner being $2,000, I wonder, that may not be installed. So that's what would make it expensive. Is it a company that's doing it with install, or is it just a distribution company selling the product?
And I'd imagine it's probably like the water company, software companies, right? To where they probably do it all in house, and then they probably and pay some dudes $200 to install it for you.
Well, hey, there's my first answer to that question. I'm gonna undercut the installers, and install at 80% of that cost for you guys. Plus I'll
You're
throw in
nasty.
a free membership to the Novex Telegram, so that they can use that Bitcoin to trade futures and perps with. By the way, the Telegram is free, but they don't need to know it's free. I can just tell them it's free, and they think they're getting a deal. So
It's free
but no.
99. Don't forget the 99 part. Okay,
That's right. But no, I'll tell you this. To answer that question, and I agree with you, right? There are some things, like I was talking with GPUP the other day, right? And one of my clients, and they had kind of casually mentioned how they really liked the look of this, it was a custom stone, like a Roman clay kind of stucco hood vent, as opposed to it being wood. And she kept mentioning it, but they didn't want to, add any additional expense on. So, well, they were gone for a couple days out of town, and during that time frame, I just went ahead and converted the stovetop that was wood into the stone, stucco kind of finished look they wanted. Yes, it cost me a little bit of time. Yes, it cost me a little bit of money. However, the return on that time and money that I spent, right? I get back to the house. Now they have 2 other projects they want to talk to me about. They are hoping I can stick around a little bit longer today because they got a friend coming over, and they love to have them talk to me because they want to do a basement. So, to answer the question directly, right? There are certain things in businesses that make sense to do that maybe are not going to, be an immediate return on your money. But in this case, kind of as the way you put it, look, even if it is a break free, or if you're paying an extra 10, $20 a month, for this Bitcoin, look, you're stockpiling this, right, for the future, right? So this is something that you are doing to set yourself up, or to put yourself in a better position, right, or in a better light, down the road. So I don't see any negative in this, unless, of course, crypto absolutely dies, and then you just spent $10 a month extra on water, which even then, when I have to look at everything from a risk reward standpoint, like, that's an easy decision, that's an easy risk to take. But yeah, I think it ultimately just comes down to, as far as how successful this can be, the install cost is one thing, right? But maintaining it, right, and continuing to operate in that way, that's something that we want to see. And that's something that, if I was going to do anything for my business, for example, or personally invest, questions I'd have prior to getting involved.
I'm glad you brought up the long-term factor. And I was wondering if anybody was going to do it, because I don't want to say it up front, but I wonder how realistic it is for governments to use this as a way of accumulating Bitcoin, right? Like, imagine if every house in the country just was given a water heater, and it's like, yeah, we're paying your water bill now, but we own all the Bitcoin it generates. And that's just like, I think once you start looking at it that way, you see there's probably a lot of ways for governments to get creative and accumulate Bitcoin, even governments that might not have the resources and the capital like the United States, like I think they can actually get creative and start aggressively accumulating Bitcoin,
You know,
assuming
you
this
just gave
is
me an
something that
idea,
actually works.
Andrew. You just gave me an idea. Um,
Let's hear
you
it.
know, you think about like, so obviously we got, you know, a Cree coin and, you know, turning real estate into the digital world. And, you know, you're talking, you were just, oh my gosh, man, what the hell was I going to say? It's one of those mornings already, bro. What were
Guys,
you
do you
saying,
have
Andrew? I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Tima.
how does this water heater thing work? I'm hearing right now for the first time of it, and
I remembered. Let me mention this. Sorry to interrupt you real quick, Tiva. You'll if you hang around enough, you'll realize that and I'm gonna apologize. I got a neurological disorder. My short-term memory sometimes is like in and out. So if I don't say this now, I'm gonna forget. But what you were saying, Andrew, is that we're talking about how you're just gonna put it in a house. Well, there are a lot of communities, and a lot of times it's like a new development or retirement community that's coming out and doing like unique things. Like, for example, there's a community here um, that cars, what's it called? If unless you're leaving, right? If you're staying in the area there, it's like mandatory that you drive and go around the golf cart. It's kind of weird, but my point is that you could have a retirement community. You could, you know, tell me that's not an idea that someone, you know, let's say is flipping property or real estate, right? You know, they have 20, 30, 40 units, or, you know, they're buying this and they're saying, hey, here's some incentive for you, you know, you move into this property, every home has a built-in, you know, a water tank or heater that is
That would
mining
be cool.
Bitcoin for you. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's an additional selling point. And in today's world, sometimes with everything, like I can go find 20 homes in this, you know, in my area, right? And the only real differences, honestly, you know, other than aesthetics, is like the school district. And in these areas here, it doesn't matter which district you're in this area, they're fantastic. Public schools are great here. But you know, so all it would take sometimes one little unique thing, right? And what you're doing there also is assuring that you're surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals, because you're not going to get, you know, someone who doesn't give two craps about it. Yeah, maybe they're like, look, I just like the house, I don't care. But majority of the people are going to be involved and into it. But that's you know, that's unique in its own. I like that. So, but sorry to interrupt. And I know she had a question, Andrew and Clutch. So if you guys want to answer that, fire away.
No, for sure, and that is a good point. I'm familiar with those kind of communities too. I lived in Florida for a while, where they had those communities where everybody just drives golf carts, and I could see that actually being a selling point in those communities. But to answer Tima, so for those that aren't super familiar with Bitcoin mining, when the computers or the miners are running, they get super hot. So one of the biggest struggles is cooling them down. So I'm assuming that how this works is the miner is constantly running and just heating up, and then they run the water through the system somehow, and it cools the miner down, and then you're able to use that heated water within your home.
that's so dope.
It is. That's why I thought this was cool. I'm wondering, you know, how long it'll work, but like I think it's worth, you know, I want to buy a house this year, and I probably want one.
Okay, did one of you try those water heater Bitcoin miners? Like, do you have them, or
No,
are you just talking?
they just came out yesterday.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna read into it.
Yeah, I posted a link in the comments that I think it has a video of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I think
Thanks.
there's probably a lot of ways to. There's probably a lot of ways to experiment with stuff like this. Like imagine like the super cold regions, you could probably heat your home with enough Bitcoin miners. Let's tap in with Loudpacks right quick. My favorite dispensary, Loudpacks. How you doing, homie? And what do you think about these water mine Bitcoin? You think that could be the future? You see anything in the any way stuff like this could tie into the marijuana industry? I know you're familiar with grows.
I
Oh
think he
man, I
texted
threw
me.
Loudpacks
He,
softball.
Yeah, he texted me that he was working. So he joined to repost a room and all that fun stuff. But that industry could definitely get that as well, as there's some really dry areas, and in the cold regions where you have grows, that's a great way to kind of heat up the water needed for the location, plus take advantage of all the other extras that come from it. So yeah, no, with Laupax being out in Nevada, I think that's a great place. For starters, the water sucks there. A lot of calcium, a lot of minerals that are bad for you. So having these water softeners and like cleaning water supplies, it's a pretty big side of the industry for that state. So I can definitely see the water heaters catching on as well, because the water softeners really took off. I was selling quite a bit of them in Nevada. Water's terrible. Arizona, Nevada.
Softeners.
come
We
back?
did sell them for a little bit though. Side story: we could actually never get them installed. Was the problem? That's why we stopped selling them.
That was the problem.
But we had issue with the installer. But but Clutchman, you wanna pull up the charts on, and we can talk about the charts a little bit.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I mean, that's what everybody shows up for, is the TA. All the extra stuff that you get, that's just for us to kind of, give you that little entertainment and just kind of let people come and show up. Usually people are late and all that fun stuff, but guys, this market is definitely heating up. And what I mean by the heating up is not that it's just price going up, because it's not, but heating up with how little the market makers can really hide from us now. So let me set up the trading view window. Boom. And we are ready. Let me go also to full screen here, so we can take our magical faces out of the screen. But guys, if you were here on Wednesday, you really got some. I mean, man, this is the information that if I was a trader and I'm learning, I would love to just have somebody just kind of spoon feeding me these free trades, right? So, what we're looking at before we ever start looking at anything, we always want to look at the CME. And if you don't know what the CME, there's a lot of neat traders, but the CME is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They're closed on the weekends. They also close every day, a candle at a specific time. I don't have everything memorized. I'm in Arizona. Daylight savings time doesn't hit us, but Eastern time, everything changes. So I don't keep up with it, the exact precise, when. It's not like it matters. I just show up in the evening times, look at when the candle closed, and just kind of start going from there. But anyhow, on this Friday candle that we're on now, we host our shows every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. On Wednesday's show, we were heading towards the bottom. We were halfway through this big candle here. We can actually tap in by seeing it on the smaller time frames on the 4-hour, because we had already pumped and we didn't fully engulf that candle. You can timestamp. We were right here. And I gave y'all one bit of information that should have been enough for you to win as a trader. I said the CME has an open gap. It's so close that I don't see the CME doing anything else before it closes that. What happened? Straight to the close. Now, you guys are probably wondering, well, what do you mean by that? Okay, let's take a break. First time. We always go to the daily, and you can, we reset the chart so you can see this is on a daily time frame. All these blue rectangle boxes that you see on my chart are days that when the candle closed, let's just say the candle closed on Friday at 90K, Monday's opened at 91,000. That's a $1,000 fair value gap, or what we call a CME gap. These are all gaps that have been opened and were closed with the action. So you can see this gap was left here. We finally closed it on the dump. We keep doing that. So the other day on Wednesday, we had left a gap since Friday's candle. On Friday's show, you were warned about the potential of a pump. It looked like bearish momentum was kind of dying down. We also had the full moon. We did get the full moon pump. Took us right to the daily 50 EMA on the CME. Very important here because futures and Ethereum on the daily were well above its daily 50. Look at Bitcoin futures trying to recover, but it's below its daily 50. For Ethereum on its daily, it's right there. It's right below the 50. You can look at Solana, same thing, and it's right below its 50 EMA. Actually, Solana's right above it. It wicked below, but it goes to show you that everything was front running above its 50 when the CME was not above its 50. It rejected right on the 50. So sometimes my job is easy because like rejections are kind of easy to spot. And yeah, I give you guys the call, but there's still some method to this madness. On that candle, I said, hey, nothing's going to happen unless we close the gap. That's exactly what happened. And then the cool part is that on that gap close, or we were starting to close it, we were below this 50% mark of the total gap. And I simply said, I can't respect it. I need more than 50% in order for me to fully respect those gaps being closed. What did we get yesterday and today? Action to go grab all that liquidity. So typically I wait for these shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for me to do this live and close this gap. So yet another trade talk win, letting you know, hey, don't top blast. We're not going to just keep going up. Anyone that listened to the show got absolutely paid. Simply, if you didn't trade, you didn't overtrade, you didn't lose money. Win right there. But if you are a trader, you are more than likely holding your shorts and scalping your longs. If you did that, kudos. You freaking absolutely cooked. So that's very, very important. Now, a quick little sidebar before we continue on the CME and all that. You always want to make sure you go to CoinMarketCap. And I guess I can show it. Let me screen share here. Let's go to the window. Boom. We'll share the CoinMarketCap main page. This is very important, guys, because you always want to look at these data points. For starters, the total market cap of crypto is holding above 3 trillion. It's at 3.11. I don't like the rejection at 3.2. As we know, we need to be above 3.3 as that was previous cycle's all-time high. Last cycle's all-time high was 4.5 trillion. We went to 2.5. We reclaimed 3, but rejected that 3.3. In order to really have a full healthy market, you want to see those tests take you above certain spots. 3.3 is that range for a healthy, supposed up-only market. But we're not there. This is why it's not up-only. We keep getting freaking cooked. So the other thing, fear and greed, we did go up to 45, 46. I was fearful. When greed rises, my fear rises. When the fear rises, my greed rises. I go opposite. I'm not going to be fearful when everyone's fearful, and I'm not going to be greedy when everybody is being greedy. So understanding CoinMarketCap is really something special. But here's the one thing that I was going to show you guys. We all saw the work that Zcash tried doing on his people yesterday. Now they're going to say regulatory suppression. Oh, we just don't want to go to jail, right? Because the American government is coming after them. So they resigned. I want to show you. I'm sorry, I can't show you, but I want to tell you. It's easy to track those by acts like this. And all they did was send frickin' Ztrash to $300 something on one wallet, dumping 0.7% of the 1.2% supply that it moved from the original team wallet. So they don't know who it is, but one wallet exited 0.7% of the total Ztrash supply. And that's what you really got to witness over the last couple of days. Now, before I get there, though, I kind of want to show you the chart because I'm heading somewhere with this. But anytime you have a top 20 coin that can completely do these types of candles because one wallet exits, it is not a real valuable coin. You literally got this nasty dump because one person exited. Here's my point. It's a top 20 token, one of the best in the world. How can you say it's not when it's top 20, right? Well, when you have top 20 tokens doing this sort of things to the market, it goes to show you just how criminal they are. Goes to show you how dangerous these market makers are, that they don't give a damn about you and they don't care what you think the market is doing. They're going to do what they're going to do because people were getting bullish at these levels, accumulating Z trash. And all this trash did was rug. So a little shout out here, Mert on Solana, one of the biggest names on Solana, shilling you this trash down your throat, calling for 10K. In case you've ever wondered why I call Solana trash and it's a crap coin, it's my favorite crap coin, but it's a crap coin nonetheless. It's because of its biggest pieces continue to use you as exit liquidity. So I just wanted to point this out. This doesn't happen in a bull market. This doesn't happen in a golden run. This doesn't happen just because of a pretty face or your most popular freaking influencers want to tell you to keep buying because you're an idiot for missing out on these bottoms. Well, bottoms keep on happening and we really want to mark ourselves safe. So anyways, let's get back to it. Now that we've closed this gap, we have nothing left that's open other than the 20K Bitcoin gap that was left 2 years ago. Now, I don't think we're going to head down that low. We've already gone over explanations why we think that's not going to happen. But the reality is we at least now have a chance to give us the next move. So we've been tracking how all the bearish momentum has all kind of, gone away. Well, that's not a good thing when bearish momentum goes away and the charts still dump. Because as that momentum goes opposite, you then create all these EMAs underneath you to kind of act as support. And we kind of warned on that because most people don't understand upcoming bullishness or bearishness on lagging indicators. EMAs are simply exponential moving averages, but they move really quickly. That's why they're exponential. They count the last candle's most recent action versus historical action. People use SMAs, they're slower. People use MAs, they're easy to manipulate. EMAs, you cannot fake. This is why they're so accurate. This is why everyone uses the 200 EMAs. Even when they use the SMAs, they always go to that 200 EMA because it's the easiest way to tell a reversal is imminent or not. So on the daily, you can see that we've lost the 200 a long time ago. That's this purple line. And ever since we've lost it, it's been incredibly hard to just try to get back to those levels. Now, in saying that, you have to kind of look at what's upcoming to see what you have to look for. On the smaller time frames, look at this 4 hour. Bitcoin's trying to rip above his 200. We kind of need that. So you want to stay above these key levels to give you continuation, because once you're below, the bearish momentum starts cooking. Look at this 4 hour chart. We're now about to be below the 21. We're below the 200. And now the 8 and the 50 are below us. So typically, when they're below you, they do, help out as support. But if we reject this area and go below there, then everything is against you. All the traders that don't look at the charts, they just look for notifications. They wait for signs like this, or they wait for signs where they go to certain 200 EMAs and then they go from there. So like on the 2 hour, for example, see people long these EMAs, the 200s. This is why you always see a lot of action at the 200 EMA levels across all charts. It's where the market makers really go and try to find what's coming. So for me, in moments like this where I really don't know what's going to happen, I start looking at the bigger time frames, but not necessarily the biggest. So the 12 hour is my favorite. And here's where you can see that Bitcoin really does have a chance. For starters, we closed the gap over the last 2 days with these 12-hour candles. Second, we are now trying to reclaim the 8 EMA. Above the 50 and above the 21, the longer we can hold this level, we should be able to drag the 21 EMA to give us some bullish momentum here, and should be able to take Bitcoin to reclaim and retest 94K. Right now we're kind of struggling with holding on to 90K Bitcoin, but as long as we continue to do so, it gives us a chance to make that real run to 100K Bitcoin. But so far, it just hasn't happened. So on the 12-hour, I start looking at this, and here's why I look at the 12-hour. It's the one that obviously looks different when you're looking at a chart that closes versus a chart that doesn't close. So let's go to futures for Bitcoin indexed by Binance on the 12-hour chart. And you notice, look at the differences. It is front running. We're above the 8, above the 50, and above the 21. So here's the thing. 21 was below the 50 on the CME, right? You see it? But not on futures. Meaning that futures is front running what it thinks the CME is going to do. It's letting us know, according to what it's doing, that it's going to take off and at least head towards the 12-hour 200, which we haven't hit since we've lost it. Notice the last time we were on those levels, we ended up rejecting over a couple of days and lost it, but it was around October of this year, or last year, right towards the end. So it's been a very long time for Bitcoin to hit this level. And now it's given us a chance because now we have all the EMAs underneath us. So if we have them all underneath us on the 12-hour, let's go find where it's not, because then that's how you trigger and start looking at your trades long or short for that day. On the 8-hour, everything's below us except the 200. So we know there's still a massive rejection here. You can't just remain bullish knowing that this is kind of your wall. This could be a general stop loss if you just go a little above it, because on the 6-hour, we're going to be above the 200 or right at it. We just lost it and we're trying to gain it again. So when we track the 12-hour, go to the 8 and then end up at the 6, we realize, guys, we have to reclaim these levels and hold on to them, because otherwise those EMAs are going to activate traders to just go short. Market makers do this all the time because it's just that easy. And if you want to track it even further, you go to the 4-hour chart. Here we are above everything. The 8 went down and now it's using support, using momentum to kind of help us here. So on the smaller time frames, it's looking good. 2-hour time frame, same thing. 1-hour time frame, look at this triple cross action that we're about to get. And here was the interesting part that I did catch. We lost the 8 and 21 underneath the 200 on the 1-hour. Ghost always trades the 1-hour, so this is why I've been looking at it a lot for him. The 50 underneath the 200 never happened. They faded it. So now that we faded this cross, we went above it. The ones that we did lose gave us the bullish momentum that you're seeing here. So following the 1-hour, I'm going to set up my short as soon as the 821 kind of cross up above this levels. So this is how I love setting up my short. So the 8 is doing something like this, right? Then you have, oops, sorry. You have the 8 doing something like this, which means the 21 is going to follow, right? And the 50 should kind of stay stale until it goes up. Boom. Right? And then your purple line, your 200 is kind of just doing that. So this is how I like to predict what's going to happen. So typically in spots like this, you'll get the action kind of bounce in and around the 8, but at some point it creates these tops here that we know it's kind of over. So I'm looking to kind of set up my shorts around here. Why? Well, for starters, all this cross action should be done after, we set up our short. So I kind of wait for that. Once all this crossing on the 1-hour happens, it means it's going to fully finalize the 2-hour crossing, the 4-hour crossings. There's not that many left, just the 8 over the 21, and then these 6-hour crosses. If that happens, it should take us towards the 8-hour 200 EMA, and that's the level where you really want to short. This area is your area of interest for your shorts. If you're on longs, these are the spots to long towards those levels, right? So understanding what you're facing is really, really important. And one of the things that most people never catch, it's what's upcoming versus what's already here. The bullish move already kind of happened, but now we're just kind of getting this little retrace. And as you can see, this cross, if we go underneath this 50, it's going to be devastating. They faded it for a reason. The last time the 50 went underneath the 200, I'm going to show you when it was above. So you had it right here. The 50 went over the 200 right here, and we went from 89K Bitcoin down to about 86K. So about 3-4%, nothing major. It then used it for this last pump, and on this final cross, this is where it really got nasty, because we went from 90K Bitcoin down to the bottom, which was 84K. And that was yet another 10% move that we got to witness. So every time this happens on the 1 hour, you get 5-10% moves. So for them not crossing it, this shows you that they still want to grab more liquidity before they can drop the hammer on people. And we can track that just by looking at the biggest of time frames. And you start looking at what's upcoming. We're going to go to the weekly for Bitcoin futures. How can I comfortably say that? Look at this 21 that's about to cross under the 50. A couple weeks ago, I said it should take 3 to 5 candles, 4 to 6 candles. I'm sorry. We're on candle number 3. It's happening sometime soon. Candles end on the weekends. When this cross happens, it should be enough to break this bear flag and take us to the 200 EMA, which we haven't touched since the essential breakout of the full bull market, which was in 2023 in October. We did one last dump from 31K Bitcoin down to 24, and we took off from there. So we haven't touched this 200, but on every cycle, on big old breakouts from 200 on bull markets, you then start heading back towards the 200. Once you lose that, you kind of consolidate until you finally take it, commences bull market. These are weekly candles, so this is a big time frame, right? A big range of the year. Like you can look at this. This is from June of 2022 when we started finding a bottom to where we fully found the bottom was in January. So again, June to January, 7 months right here. And we finally consolidated and started heading towards that 200. The 200 EMA is really the key for anything. When we're at these top levels, it's easy to short knowing that it wants to go to the 200 sometime, but it's not going to go on the first try. So these shorts here to the 50 are super easy. Finding support on the 50 are super easy. Getting support here and making these attempts to run up, you can kind of start setting up shorts right towards those 50s. It typically takes 4 to 6 attempts before it loses the 50. Notice after breakout, went to the 50 one time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. On the 6th, it lost the 50. So I don't expect it to lose the 200 on the first attempt, but I do expect it to head there, followed by some bounce action as these EMAs start heading lower and lower. These averages take forever to kind of move, so you guys got to be mindful of that. But this nastiness that's upcoming, you have to know that that is going to activate a lot of bearish traders. If that happens, they're going to short with conviction here, and you're going to get these devastating pullbacks because the people that can move the market will when these things start happening. And you can kind of track it on the 5-day to kind of be a little bit more put up on game because it already happened. And now we're rejecting these levels. So again, when that weekly happens, you're going to get the, that little last minute pain. Now, here's the chart that we're going to land our plane with the TA. Hope you learned a little something. There's a lot to go over, and I can only do so much. I can ask you to keep showing up because these things are not that they're repetitive, but they are very similar to TA that we've done over the last several weeks, several months. So if you've just been here for a year and you've shown up all the time, you kind of already know what all these candles means, right? Now, on this chart, people don't trade it, but USDT dominance is very important. When this chart pumps, the market dumps. When this chart dumps, the market pumps. It's opposite. We call it pumpy dumpy. When people are buying into stables, they're jeeting their alts, they're jeeting Bitcoin, they're jeeting everything. That's why the market dumps. So this is a very awesome chart to trade because it can help you really be put up on what the big money is doing. Now, We lost the past uptrend that we really had, reclaimed another one that went official on the daily. I made that trend on the 12-hour, and look how perfect execution it gave us on the 12-hour, because we were trying to predict where it was going to land. We lost the trend in this level, but obviously without even looking at that, it was obvious to know what? The 200, because all 200 EMAs are really what brings the market to the areas of interest that traders are looking for. So for me, looking at that, it really goes to, it really goes a long way into understanding that this chart is very methodical. And and believe it or not, it's actually quite easy to like look at this chart and kind of know what's coming. Just how I was able to tell y'all that bounce was going to happen, it did. And we closed the CME gap. Pretty freaking easy, right? When you're looking at it like that. Because how were we able to track that CME gap? That CME gap closure through pockets like that. 12-hour bounce. For sure, we're heading up, and we did. So now, what's next? Okay, the fun part. We're above the 8, so the 8 can't be used against us. If it goes above and the 8 starts sending this chart towards the upside, you really want to look at 6%. We're at 6 point what? Oh, 6%. I'm a little blind, guys. Sorry. But 6% has been support every time we've wicked below it. We've reclaimed it. Look at these wicks. Look at these wicks. You can just kind of see that super area of support for this chart, which you don't want to see support. Support bad for our bags, right? But this is the area of support, and I'm going to do it red, right? Because when we bounce off of that, market dumps. So you're literally seeing that area become your area of interest. So it's kind of easy to long at these spots. We rejected my Toyota and ramen territory, which for those that don't know, I drew this chart a couple years ago. I gave us predictive indicators, this predictive lifetime trend, a predictive 2-touch, when 3-touch bear market trend, right? And when we made it to this lifetime trend, this is all recorded through our streams. These final wicks, it was just kind of obvious it's respecting this lifetime trend, and we knew we had to go create a 3-touch. We did. Perfect structure. The reason why this is grid and not a straight line is we've cut through wicks, which makes it not a trend but an alley. So as soon as we rip through there, I'm predicting these as our tops. Bear market bottoms should be here in these levels as bear market bottoms were there. The scary part is finding a bear market that's going to give us more brutal action, like ripping through its crazy all-time highs and heading towards 12, 14%. That's a scary thing to think about, but it's a possible outcome. And how we're going to show you how that's possible, you got to just measure from breakout to top and go from there. So after we broke out, we faked out, and then we finally broke out from here to make it there. But to be fair, we're not going to measure from this bottom. We're going to measure from this last fake out, right? And this is where we went. So this is the kind of the move. And if this ends up being the final fake out from that support area that, we're gathering, look at this. It gets us above that range, price discovery, and something that you don't want to see for this chart. I am scared if we go into this level of holding along, but I buy spot and we start setting up the macro long, because at some point we will reject these areas and head towards that lifetime trend. People have been talking about the golden run forever, because what they expect when we make it here, like let's just say this happens, right? This is kind of what you want to see. And this golden line right here, the golden trend, we call it the golden line, right? It's the lifetime trend. At some point, we want to reject past that and head towards Lambo and Steak, or the runs of runs, the greatest runs ever, right? Like since we've established these charts on all these big dumps, we go on crazy big pumps, but it's been stopped a lot. So pay attention to these levels. They're very, very important, and you want to look at upcoming stuff. So since we know the 6 and the 8 hours of areas of interest on Bitcoin, Solana, all those other charts, we're going to go to the 8 hour on Pumpy Dumpy so we can see this. And what are we going to get to? We lost the 200, but reclaimed it. Never got allowed the 8 to cross under the 200 to activate some bearishness. Instead, we use that as support. We rejected the 50 a few times, but now the dangerous part, we're right above the 8 again. So if we can't lose this 8 on the 12 hour, this is why we can't lose it on the 8 hour, right? On the 6 hour. Here we are right below it. So this is how you can track these longs. When you reject these levels like here, you start setting up your longs. When you settle and start finding support, you set up your shorts, right? When this chart goes up, you want a short. When this chart goes down, you want a long. It's opposite. Kind of look at it like this. If this will help some of y'all, invert your chart to where now you want this chart to go up for your bags to get paid, right? The lifetime trend. You see how it's backwards now? So you can look at the chart this way to kind of help, guide you on that. But me ultimately, I used to play the airplane games. Up is down, down is up. I freaking love it. I'm dyslexic in so many ways, but not this one, So we make it good here. But anyways, so 6 hour crossing action potentially there can give us some bearishness. If we reject here, the 50 can head down, which means all the other stuff starts falling. So where it gets nasty is you start looking at the smaller time frames. We're reclaiming areas that we probably shouldn't and just going through normal rejections, but finding support on higher lows, right? Dangerous stuff, guys. I'm not sold that this is it. There's some upcoming bearishness, and I'm going to show y'all. It's that 2-week time frame for this chart. And by bearishness, I meant the other way, right? Anyways, but you see on the 2-week candle, this bounce and support off the 8 with the cross happening. This is the last chart that once we start losing the 2-hour push, it's gonna, the 2 week, sorry. Once we start losing this 2-week push, this trend here, we do want to lose it. We should head down towards the 5.5%, 5% ranges, which would be the 21 and the 50. So 2-week chart does have some potential for us, but overall, this chart is looking bullish as heck. The weekly just gave us the 50. It's just finding support, and it almost never loses the 8 on the first, second, or third attempt, especially on bigger time frames. Going to the monthly, you can kind of see this. We're engulfing this candle now, which is very, very bullish if you're a bull, but we still got how many days? 20 days, 3 weeks. Look out for this candle to be eaten. Typically in those moments, you will have that big move coming up next. I'm not sold until we enter these areas or we get a real good rejection. For me, I'll rather long here. Okay, I'll rather long there. And for me, if I'm going to short, I'm not trying to short the top either or the bottom, right? If this is going to reject here and go down, why would I just want to short? For me, my golden short areas, if we happen to go, is this box right here. So this is a perfect position. A long here and a short there. You can short to the long or long to the short, depending on which one happens first. But just so you know, those are my 2 massive areas of interest before I'm going to go full risk on. This market is very saucy, but everything has been predicted perfectly because we do not look for perfect TA. That's why we don't miss. What we do, and this is what makes us special, is that we look for what's already happened, and it makes it easier to predict what's coming next because one thing cannot happen without the second act happening as well. So for us here, man, we just want to maintain our safety as the market makers are going both directions, but I'm not going to hold macro positions until that macro data starts really kind of letting us know that the move is over. As of now, it doesn't feel over. And if I'm looking for a range for this weekend, I'm really looking for Bitcoin, to try to stay above 90K. But if it can't, I expect to see Bitcoin go retest 84 to 86K, potentially by this weekend. Very, very scary stuff because every time Bitcoin goes down 5%, the rest of the market nukes 20, 30%. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But overall, you know, this market is doing exactly what we predicted, and we're here for it. Anybody else that's up here have any sentiments, questions, you name it? This is your time. No? All right. Well, guys, this is Trade Talk. We show up, we give you the analysis, and we do it, you know, not because we have to, but because we want to. So you must want the trading. You must really want to be a good trader to get there. And the way I see it, if you want to be that person will be right here with you. So if there's anything that you need from us, reach out. Go to our free Telegram. Just type in Novex Finance. You'll show up. Find us on socials, Kick, Rumble, Facebook, IG, TikTok, everywhere. We're all over the baby. And we're going to continue to do so. We're going to continue to be around. And we just want to be there for our traders. So much love. Really appreciate you guys swinging through. It keeps us motivated to keep showing up every day when you traders keep showing up every day to really motivate us, right? We work as a unit. We move as a unit. And I really, really appreciate you guys. So thanks for stopping by to Trade Talk. We'll definitely be, you know, we'll be around. We'll be doing some gaming, some other types of streams. Who knows what we got going on today, but we always do got some going on. Andrew, any final words before I wrap up the stream, my dude?
Oh, no final words from me. My bad. I thought I was on mute. I don't know if you guys could hear me eating this bowl of cereal, but no, man, I think it's going to be a good weekend. We'll be around. I know we'll be streaming some games, probably some poker. We got some AMAs lined up for next week, so I'm pretty hyped about that. Got some big poker players coming on and working on some more. And yeah, I think you guys are going to know some of these people, and they got some historic hands tied to them and stuff. So it's going to be fun. But yeah, man, I'm ready, baby. We're always ahead of the curve. But thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll be back.
We'll definitely be back, but we're just out here, man. We got Novex on our minds, Novex in our pockets. Novex is here for you. Place your trades, enjoy the vibes. Come stream with us, come game with us, but ultimately, come stay positive with us. We don't lose because it's not about always winning. But we always make sure to keep ourselves protected and marked safe from these exit liquidity plays.
Yeah. Top down, top down, top down. Sun low. Got that, got that, got that. Novex glow. Yeah. Screens green, heart slow. Let the whole day roll. Early in the AM, coffee in the same cup, watch list loaded. Everything framed up, charts on chill. Moving like a slow jam, playing so clean, I don't even need a boast, man. Wrist tight, yeah, the downside light. Let the market do its thing. I ain't gotta fight, cause the rules in place like lanes on the freeway. Novex on the dash, I just ride how the beast sway. Trail stop set while I laugh with the homies. Alerts hit soft on my wrist like it know me. No chase, no race, just grace in the guideline. Platform do the heavy, I just live in the right mind. Novex on my mind, I'm cruising through the day so smooth. Money on the line, but I'm moving like I can't lose. Game stay up, line, got a plan so I can choose. Life plus grind, that's the groove I use. Novex on my mind. Yeah. Used to let fear talk loud in the background. jump in, jump out. Every little tick down, now I zoom way out. See the whole big frame, let the noise burn out. I don't play that game, I split, win, stack small, let it grow in seasons. Lost come, noted down, walk off with a reason. Discipline drip, like the chrome on the rim, shine step by step. Turn a side hoe to a real climb. Tell my people you could build while you breathe easy. From the phone or the home where the waves breezy. Tools in the hand, but the mind is the real wealth. Novex on the screen, put belief in your own self. Novex on my mind, I'm cruising through the day so smooth. Money on the line, but I'm moving like I can't lose. Game stay up, line, got a plan so I can choose. Life is grind, 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 grind. That's the groove I use. Novex on my mind, yeah. From the first little trade to the big time vision. From the late night doubts to the clear cut decisions. We just scale, stay patient, let the process talk. No vex in my hand, but my heart do the walk, yeah. No vex on my mind, no vex on my mind.
Novex on our minds. Have a great rest of your day. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to survive here with us. Much love, Novex family. If you ever need anything from us, just reach out. You never know what we can do. What I do know is that we can accomplish many, many great things together. At the very least, we will not be used as exit liquidity by these market makers, baby. So stay on the grind. Love seeing you guys cooking. Much love, everybody. Have a great rest of your day and a great weekend.